Okay, so, oh, it's just me. Everybody's off video. Welcome to Days of Apple. It feels very timely. So, I have this card from, okay, if you can see, that's a bit better. This is from the Peter Pennick deck. And can you see? Oh, I'll have to post it. It's got the Tor, the Glastonbury Abbey, and it's the orchard, and there's a little labyrinth there as well. And I just realized that I started this because I've come straight from a class into this, that I did not get myself set up with, you can hear me go click, 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 with my image. Apple, oh, speaking of Glastonbury, so the image that I have for the meditation is a picture that I took in 2011 when I went on pilgrimage with the Sisterhood of Avalon, Apple, to Glastonbury, and I saw these three sheep staring. Well, you'll see the image. It made me laugh, and I love it so much. And so that's the image that we use. So to start ourselves with, oh, where's our apple? Okay. So let me get music going, and I'll put the image up. Share screen. So that is the image that I love from Glastonbury of the apple tree. So this is the apple Quert poem from the Celtic Tree Calendar poem cycle. It says Apple Shaman, and it starts, the poem starts with a quote from Dylan Thomas. Now, as I was young and easy under the apple boughs, and honored among wagons, I was prince of the apple towns. Mostly, I know you as temptation, the voracious bite, proposed in exchange for questions and answers about the quality of the world through these particular eyes. And you were planted before May Eve with shards of coal beneath your roots and a good libation of cider to water them. And you grew unchallenged, white wanderer, neither in forest or orchard, but fringed a lane where your honeyed fragrance wafts ingenuously. Once you whispered of the naming spell made deep in the black earth, no red Adam here or life-giving Eve, and yet we fulfilled our quest in chapels, schoolyards, pantomimes, where apples gave way to green and carefree beanstalks, and we were seduced by streets paved with gold and by instant quiescence. I have envisioned your fruit since then, absorbed the knowledge of your pentagram inferences, aware that there is always a choice, whether to be a quail high in your branches, or a wallowing sow at your clover roots. A blossom can be all the beauty and wisdom of history wrapped in one whimsical cluster of deep pink. And I acknowledge that life is about preferences, and that your dying blooms are quickly succeeded by bunches of healing fruit. But there is always some sour in the sweetness, one grafted to the other and bound with strips of marriage bed linen. And this is but another turning point in the golden haze of the year. And oh, your silver boughs are gently gnarled by coal dust, age, and weather, yet inspire such caring that Olwen carved and pared you into memory. So here's to thee, old apple tree, and though your wassailing days are done, lovers yet may sleep and dream beneath your tangled whippy branches. And Widow Twanky is still the matchmaker who kioxically transforms the wish into reality. While I, thousands of miles in your past, bless your scattered harvest, the produce of their sowing, as apple trees and temptation and wisdom and inspiration, like poetic immortality, outlive the qualms of relationships, the knots, the quandaries of everyday experiences. So breathe into that place. Breathe into apple, into quert, into blossom, fruit. Allow yourself to experience apple with all your senses. And hear the wisdom that apple has for you today. And slowly start to bring your awareness back to your breath. And just take another minute or two connecting with Apple Quert. Just being open to any final messages or insights. And as you start to follow your breath, to bring you back to the here and now, thank Apple for the time shared, for the insights reflected. And slowly, slowly, start to bring yourself back to the here and now. And when you're ready, you feel fully present and grounded, you might want to do a sweep down your energy field and touch your toes. When you're ready, you can open up your eyes. And so, just before I stop the recording, if you want, recording's still going. So I wanted to just share a little bit of sort of research that I've done in the books that I reference. The Ogham Sketchbook by Karen Cater, what I have Ogham and Coelbren by Nigel Pennick, Yuri Leitch's Ogham Grove, the Book of Ogham by Michael Kelly, Ogham Weaving Word Wisdom by Erynn, Rowan, Laurie. So there's a bunch of Celtic Tree Mysteries by Steve Blumeyer. So this is just sort of some of the highlights that I tend to reference for myself. So from different sources. So again, of course, what wisdom, has come to you through meditation, but and the poem sort of referenced as well the tree of knowledge, immortality, healing, wholeness. Like the hawthorn, the apple is a member of the rose family. The apple flower essence helps one relax and just be. That healing only happens. The healing that comes from apples can only also happen when we rest and sleep and allow ourselves to be rather than do. That it represents all that is beautiful, proportional, what brings things into harmony. But interestingly, there are these what are they? I can't remember what they're called now. I'll have to look that up. But there's sort of the short forms. There's 3 different ways in Irish tradition that each of the trees has, sort of 2 words that kind of encapsulate, the meaning of that tree. And I can't pronounce them, but it is Diathar Basail, Brig and Vini, Digi, Fathail are the three sort of Gaelic reflections. And they translate as the first one, shelter of a lunatic. The second one, substance of an insignificant person. The third one, dregs of clothing. So I find this so fascinating because it's like, what does that have to do with apple? Like each of these is a little encapsulation of what apple is all about. But what's interesting is that all three of them refer to rags. You know, what on the outside appearance, you know, dregs of clothing, the substance of an insignificant person. But it's speaking to the fact that what is found on the outside is not the thing of significance to pay attention to. It's what is on the inside that speaks to eternity, right? That beauty is in that which is eternal, not that which is temporary and transitory. So there's looking past what is evident to that which is true is what brings healing and wholeness and beauty and harmony. The silver branch being a reference to Manannan MacLear, again, Irish tradition, from which, so he had a silver branch from which he hung 3 golden apples. That was referred to as his branch of reason. And of course, you know, the evident, the one that we probably all were thinking of at some point, to some degree, is Avalon, the Isle of Apples, the apple associated with the other worlds. So in my own meditation, I would say that there were a few different things that came up. Like, this is all coming from the perhaps the intellect side, but this aspect of Avalon and the Isle of Apples and the connection with the other world and the calling sign of the other world, and I had this interesting, it was a healing moment in itself, where all of a sudden I remembered a particular tree, a particular apple tree from a long time ago. It was actually when I was doing a training in Celtic. Well, actually, I think the Sisterhood had an intensive at this place as well, and there's a particular really old apple tree that I connected with, and it was this mother apple. And I just spent some time with her, and she said that regardless of sort of, again, that what I was saying about the rags, it doesn't matter what the outside looks like. It is the inside. And so it was this reflection that, you know, you are mother, regardless of what things look like on the outside. That is something which is carried in the heart and can never be taken. So there is this sense of apple. In the healing that comes from apple is when we pay attention to what is reflected as the inner truth, not what is sort of tending to be presented in the outside world. So that was the wisdom that she reflected to me. And I want to share one more poem from Bathing in the Fae's Breath, just before we close the recording. So this is from the Woodland Bard. The first few stanzas, the first 8 stanzas are his poem, and then the last 5, I believe, are, he says, a satire on the Song of the Wandering Angus poem by W.B. Yeats. So, did you know that within every apple there lies something waiting to surprise? Instead of slicing down, slice through and watch a star appear and twinkle for you. At harvest time, each day on my ladder, I reach closer towards the sky, picking apples, filling barrels for mead, for cider, and to make apple pie. But I am done with apple picking for now. Time for winter sleep that longer nights allow. The scent of the apples calms me and calls me. What will my dreaming allow me to be? In the twilight before sleep, I can see apples appear and disappear, every one with perfect skin shining clear. Yes, this was the great harvest we all desired, to nourish us through winter. But now I'm tired. And there are voices singing. Apples, apples, look, here's our treat. Big and small, they're all good to eat. One side red, other side green, russets and coxes all washed clean. But where are the crab apples? Still out in the wood? Bitter for the big folk, but for us, they are good. So come, all ye, let's gather them up, make jelly with honey, and mead for us to sup. From mead we reveal stories of darkness to light, monsters who became angels to guide us through the night. A poet once visited told us of his longing, seeking for the dream, his desire for courting. Though I am old with wandering through hollow lands and hilly lands, I will find out where she has gone and kiss her lips and take her hands. We walked with him among long dappled grass and plucked till time and times are done the silver apples of the moon, the golden apples of the sun. Through a moment's smile, he shared more wisdom for a while, peering above spectacles, steamed as we giggled, burped and beamed. There is a tree with leaves so green. Here are its apples that hang in between. If I picked 2 apples, do you know what I would do? Shine them up, keep one for me, give the other one to you. So apple blessings upon you for the next couple of weeks, for the days of apple. May you find harmony in her branches and healing in your heart and wholeness all around you. And we will see you in a couple of weeks.